Welcome to the Asia Pacific region, fast becoming a mecca for sport and fitness. Located just minutes from Singapore is Bintan Island, a jewel in Indonesia's crown and venue for the Metaman 2013. Bintan Island is a tropical paradise, just a fast 50-minute ferry ride from the glass towers and hustle and bustle of Singapore. Big City gives way to a white sand island oasis. In its second year, the Bintan Metaman headquarters and racecourse will once again be the beautiful Nuwara Gardens.
Singapore is already a well-established tourism destination, and by twinning Singapore with Bintan, it allows visitors to this part of the world a good variety of appeals and attractions. You've got the big city experience, the hustle and bustle in Singapore, and just 45 minutes away is this natural wonder. Pristine beaches, nice verdant jungles, opportunities to commune with nature, learn and enjoy the tropical ambience of this place.
The perfect combination, a world-class sporting event and a world-class resort. Welcome to Bintan Island and the 2013 Metaman. Iron distance, half iron distance and blitz. 3 races in one over a fantastic weekend. Plenty of local support for the pros and the age groupers alike as we get set for the second edition of Metaman. For the age group competitors, this could be a life-affirming or a life-changing event. For the pros, it's just another day in the office. The press conference was a chance for all the elite athletes to introduce themselves to a very enthusiastic press. Let's now hear from the head of Bintan Regency.
Sport and tourism is very close, so we try to make the tourism in Bintan specialization is the sport tourism event.
Like any big-name iron distance event, Metaman had its own sports expo, complete with the latest, greatest fitness and sporting gear. Taking in the sights with the pros such as Courtney Atkinson from Australia. And of course, before any such event, there was the traditional carbo loading party. Preparation for what lay ahead. For many, a huge effort. The swim is set in the crystal clear waters of the South China Sea, usually Mill Pond Flat. The double chevron-shaped course lends itself to safe and fast swimming. Starting in the beautiful Nuwara Gardens, the beach start swim features a 2-lap course with a small shore run between laps. With average temperatures of 29 degrees, no wetsuit would be needed. So last-minute preparations are being readied for Metaman 2013, this iron distance event, 3.8 kilometre swim, 180 kilometre bike ride and a full 42.2 kilometre marathon. One of the top favourites wearing bib number 1 is Australia's David Dellow from Team TBB.
Training in these conditions over the last couple of days, I think it's going to be a matter of pacing yourself. If you don't do that, you're going to end up passing out on the side of the road. It's so hot here, so I think I'll be taking a pretty sort of conservative approach tomorrow.
Well, because of the heat, it is an early start for the Metaman for 2013. It is 6 o'clock in the morning here in Bintan, and I'm joined in commentary by 10-time New Zealand Ironman champion Cameron Brown. And Cam, you had a little bit to do with this event. You were involved in the planning stages early on.
Yeah, I was up there and testing out the course and had a little training camp there, and yeah, it's a spectacular island and just a fantastic, beautiful beach. You know, that water out there is just crystal clear.
It's all pretty new to me, this stuff, and so far this year I've just raced to how I feel, and actually haven't been beaten yet this year, so over a number of different distances and a number of different tactical types of races. So you know, I've just been following what feels right, and I'll continue to do that, and I'm sure the day will come when, yeah, it might not work out, but that's going to be endurance racing. But so far, it's been pretty healthy.
So Courtney Atkinson from Australia, one of the favourites as we get set for the beach start. Cameron Brown, a long time ago now, you were in the same position. You moved up from ITU competition, Olympic distance, and got into the iron distance races. What do you expect that Courtney's going to go through here?
Yeah, he'll just try to take that swim very, very fast. You know, he's a phenomenal swimmer, and everyone will be trying to get on his feet as quickly as possible, but I think he's such a good swimmer that he'll just get away, and there's probably going to be a group of 4 or 5 athletes that are just going to try and get in a group and draft and conserve energy.
Well, you picked it just right, because Atkinson already starting to stretch away from the rest of the field here. But the other side of the coin is that iron distance racing, it's a totally different kettle of fish, isn't it, to the Olympic distance?
Yeah, Courtney's, he was fantastic over the Olympic distance. He went to 2 Olympic Games, but it's a different ball game out there on the Ironman course. It's 8 hours of racing and compared to an hour 45. So it's new for him, but he's stepped up to the challenge in the half Ironmans, and he's looking good. He's looking fantastic at the moment, and these other guys here, Tim Burkle, Courtney Ogden and David Dello, they'll just be trying to get on each other's feet now and draft as much as they can.
Well, that's right. Let's explain to the people back home about the drafting involved in swimming. You mentioned getting onto his feet or onto his toes.
Yeah, it's just like being on a bike. You conserve energy. You probably save up to 20% getting on someone's feet, and just all those bubbles behind, just raise the athlete behind, and it's just a huge amount of energy saving when you do that.
This is the lead female. This is Caroline Steffen from Switzerland.
I spoke to my coach yesterday, and he gave me plan A, B and C. So depends on exactly what happened. In the race I have to make decisions, and the major goal is to win the race, of course, and we'll see what I have to do to win, and yeah.
I guess like a lot of these other athletes, Caroline is using this as a bit of a hit out for Kona, Hawaii, coming up in around about 6 or 7 weeks' time.
Yeah, she's that's her main goal for this year, and but this is going to be a good blowout. Same conditions as Hawaii. It's 35 degrees out here today, and just same conditions, so she'll thrive in that and use this as a real test.
It looks like Gina Crawford swimming there with her as well. We go back to the leader of the race, the men's leader as well. This is Courtney Atkinson. You heard Cameron say, 2-time Olympian, 2008 and 2012, but he's made the change. He's made the switch up to half Ironman and full iron distance racing.
Yeah, Courtney's already got rid of that swim cap early on. It's that water temperature 29 degrees, and he's just going to get out of this water, jog around, and he's done the first lap, completed that. He'll look at where those other competitors are, get a sight gauge, and then get into the second lap and try and build that lead again.
This is Courtney Ogden, another Australian, and he is just in this lead bunch. Just up ahead of him, David Dello, just in behind him, Tim Van Berkel. So the Aussies using this as a head out. They're obviously looking to progress towards Kona as well.
And just look at those girls as well, Gina Crawford and Caroline Steffen, sitting on those boys' feet as well, so they're having phenomenal swims as well, and that's going to set them up for that bike ride. Just, as they're coming out of the water, they'll dolphin dive just in that shallow water, just not trying to conserve a little bit of energy. They don't want to run through this section. And then finally, when their hands touch the ground, that's when they'll get up and start running.
Interesting to note, in an iron distance race we have a bit of a land call between swims, the 2-lap swim format, a little bit different.
Yeah, it just gives the spectators an insight to where the competitors are, and just notice, there's a little aid station there for the competitors, because, they've been swimming for half an hour already, and water temperature of 29 degrees, really, you heat up very, very quickly, so, some hydration halfway through the swim is paramount.
Caroline Steffen here, she comes from a swimming background. She was a representative swimmer in Switzerland before she took to cycling.
Well, there's different situations we can show up on a race, and of course it has to do with the other girls who are racing, and my position I have in a race, and that's where I have to pick plan A, B and C, and see what I can do with those.
Well, in the past, you'd have to say, Cam, that probably her weakness is her run.
Yeah, in Hawaii she's struggled a little bit. She's a powerful, strong athlete, and it helps when you're probably a little bit smaller in those heat races, and the athletes that like Gina Crawford and that, they can handle that heat just a little bit better. But Caroline, it's just all strength and power with her.
Well, here is Gina Crawford, one of New Zealand's finest.
Yeah, she's got a very, very quick turn over there in the swim. She's another great swimmer.
I'd be happy with up on the podium. That's what I'm aiming for. I've got Kona in 6 weeks, and this is really a simulation for that. I want to do well here, but I don't want to give everything so that I don't have anything left for another Ironman in 6 weeks' time. So this is a great way to practice for Kona, to pace myself properly and to see how that affects the run and all those sorts of things. So I'm really just focused on myself really for this race, because it's, as you say, I'm not used to the heat, and I come from New Zealand, so it's really a case for me just to focus on myself and get through.
So Gina Crawford second in the female ranks in the swimming. This is the men's race though. We go back to Maddie White, number 6 there, another one of the Australians in the field.
Yeah, and all the guys and girls, they're wearing the speed suits as well, so that just gives them a little bit more protection in that water, lifts them up a bit. Those speed suits are probably a minute to 2 minutes quicker than just normal, pair of Speedos, so just a little bit faster.
Well, a minute to 2 minutes quicker, that describes this man. This is Courtney Atkinson coming out of the water for the last time. And can you believe it? He's got around about a 3-minute lead at the moment coming out of the water. So that is the perfect start for the man from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, he's looking great there, Courtney. He'll just look behind. He can run through this transition now and just relax and get onto that bike as quickly as he can.
And we've seen, haven't we, with the guys that are coming from Olympic distance, they seem to transition a little bit quicker from the older experienced Ironman.
Yeah, they're used to it. It's a sort of 10-15 second process for them in the Olympic distance, but in Ironman, you can take your time a little bit more. It's more about comfort. Even those shorts he's got on there will have a little bit of a chamois in. You're riding 180 k's out there, so the comfort is paramount, and he'll just put that aero helmet on and then he's away. So quick, as soon as he gets onto that bike, and within that first 5 k's he'll be getting his nutrition in as quickly as possible.
So Courtney Atkinson out onto the two-loop bike course here at the Metaman for 2013, and this is the chasing group, and this will be David Dallow leading them out, and Tim Van Berkel right in behind him, and I think Carolyn Steffen's in that group as well. That's been a phenomenal swim for the lady they call Zena.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and there's Gina Crawford just rounding out the second girl, so she'll be happy that she's right in contact with Caroline, and hopefully she can focus on her in the first few k's of the bike and stay as close as she can.
So Atkinson leaving the transition. He was the fastest with a 47.04. Second was David Dallow with a 50.44, and Tim Van Berkel third with a 50.41. So as well as the full iron distance, there is the half iron distance race as well here at Metaman 2013. Look out for number 155, Andy Wibowo. Came to triathlon from a swimming background. He represented Indonesia as a swimmer at the Athens Olympics in 2004. So expect him to be towards the front when they come out of the water.
Renang tentu paling bagus.
So the best one is at swimming, and the second one at running, and the third one for cycling the bicycle.
I think the second best.
Certainly considered to be one of the ladies' favourites. This is Monica Torres, number 313. She's one of the Philippines' top triathletes and sure to be at the front of the field.
I'm never in the front because I'm a bit of a slow swimmer, so I just try my very best to get to see some people towards the end. So yeah, for a smallish person, I do relatively well in the heat. I was counting on that.
So all set for a start in the half iron distance race here at Metaman. For a lot of these people, it would be 6 months to a year full training, and for a lot, their biggest sporting adventure ever. Good numbers in the participation too, Cam. Obviously triathlon alive and well up in this part of the world.
Yeah, no, the sport is thriving in Asia, and it's just growing every year, and done a number of events around the region, and yeah, it's phenomenal, the growth rate, so it's great news.
So this is the chasing pack in the full Ironman distance. Number 1 there is David Dallow on the Alaska team, BBB team, and just in front of him, Courtney Ogden. The 180-kilometre cycle is set out over 2 laps, starting from the transition area in the Nuwana Garden. Athletes head out into the verdant forest on smooth tarmac roads with 4 challenging climbs. So this is the race leader. Remember, he gave them a 3-minute advantage coming out of the swim, the 3.8 kilometre swim, but now we're on the 180 kilometre bike ride, 2 loops basically of the island resort town here in Bintan, and Atkinson looking good and travelling fast, Cam.
Yeah, no, he's looking great. He's just going to try and build on this lead if he can, and the other guys, they'll be trying to chase him as soon as they get out of that transition. But this girl, Caroline Stefan, she's going to enjoy this bike ride. It's a tough course, but it'll suit her down to the ground, and Gina Crawford has just got to try and stay as close as possible, and if she can be close off that bike, then she's got a chance of winning this race.
So they are the 2 top protagonists in the women's field. We go back. No, we don't. We go back to Gina Crawford. So this is Gina Crawford. She was second out of the water for the girls in 50.54. Carolyn Stefan just further up the road, she came out in 50.52, so absolutely nothing in it. Another New Zealander, Candice Hammond, coming out in 104, so she's giving them all a bit of a start. But you see already Gina getting into the nutrition, getting into the hydration. So important.
I raced a couple of times in Kona, and I've had some good results there, but this is quite a bit hotter than Kona. I did a half Ironman about 3 weeks ago in Samoa to replicate these conditions. It was very similar, but of course it's half the distance, and I felt really good there, had a really good race, but definitely here I need to make sure I pace myself, definitely on the bike, so that I can come onto the marathon and hopefully have a good day and make it to the finish line in a good condition.
Cameron, you know about the race in Samoa because you did that one yourself.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic race, just a new race, but Gina was second there. I had a bad day, 3 punches on the bike, but I'll live another day. But yeah, Caroline here, she's just going to be trying to get in that nutrition. Hydration is just going to be so important here. It's going to be probably 30, 35 degrees out in that bike course, and yeah, not much wind at the moment.
I had a quick look on the course. I would say it suited me. It's not very technical on the bike. I like technical bike course, but they're rolling hills, and I reckon that's gonna suit me. And
the other thing we probably should talk about, Cam, is that in the swim, it's all upper body, arms and shoulders, but now you suddenly got to use your legs.
Yeah, no, this is Candice Hammond here, and she's a phenomenal runner. These girls are going to be running scared on that run when she gets out off this bike. But as Caroline said, it's a real strongman's course out there, and hopefully she can just continue and build her lead at the moment.